Trend Micro, UiPath, and many more. Today, our discussion will focus on configuration of on-premises data gateway. While the presentation is on, questions can be typed into the chat box, and we will take them at the end of the session. So let's get started. Yesterday's session provided a basic understanding of Microsoft Power BI. We learned how Power BI could be used to build meaningful insights, track how frequently your products and services are used, and also track the compliance of your employees, especially in these times where working remotely is unavoidable. So for those who are unable to join, I'll briefly explain what Power BI is and its elements before diving into today's topic. Kindly stay with me. So Power BI is a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn our unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insights. So our facilitator yesterday showed us a beautiful dashboard which was built on Power BI. So we have three elements of Power BI. We have the Power BI desktop. That's where you create and edit your reports. You import data from SQL Server. I'll show us that shortly. And then you can manually input your data. It means you can create a table on Power BI. You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever idea you have, you can start it on Power BI desktop. You can also build your reports. That's where you build your reports. And then you publish it to Power BI service. So I'll show us that shortly. And then we have the next element is an online SaaS, software as a service, known as Power BI service. There you build your dashboards, and then you can share your dashboard with your other colleagues. Okay, and then you can monitor the usage metrics. You want to know the number of people that have viewed your dashboard over time. Those people you have shared your dashboard with and what they have done with it, you can monitor it on Power BI service. And then the last one is the Power BI mobile app. So it means after building your report and then publishing it on Power BI service and then building your dashboard, you can share the links with people and then they can open it on their phone. They're able to view the dashboard built on their mobile app. So after building an immersive and interactive insight on Power BI desktop, and then you publish it to Power BI service, there's a need to keep our data up to date. So that's what brings us to today's topic, configuration of data gateway. Okay, so we need an on-premise data gateway to keep our data up to date. So today we'll be briefly looking at what are data gateways, on-premise gateway architecture, configuration of data gateway, sorry. So now, what is a data gateway? The on-premise data gateway acts as a bridge. I call the gateway the middleman because according to the image we have here, we can see that it relates with the cloud and the on-premises data sources. So our cloud services are Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Azure Analysis Services, and then our Azure Logic apps. So what the gateway does is to relate with the cloud services. So when a query is sent, the cloud services sends it to the gateway. The gateway goes back to the on-premises data sources to get the results and sends it back to the cloud. So that's how it works. But I'll give a full details of how the gateway works. Okay, so let's go to the architecture. This is the on-premises data gateway architecture. So this is the cloud services, your Azure Analysis Services that I talked about, the Azure Logic apps, Power BI. So this is what we're going to be working on today. Power Apps, and then our Power Automate. So this is what happens. The cloud service creates a query and the encrypted credentials for the on-premises data source. So the query and the credentials are sent to the gateway for processing. So now you have the gateway cloud service and then you have your on-premises data gateway. So what the on-premises data gateway does is to relate more with your on-premises services. So now the gateway cloud service analyzes the query and then it pushes it to the Azure Service Bus. So now Azure Service Bus pushes the pending request to the gateway, and then the gateway gets the query. I'm talking about the on-premise data gateway now. The on-premise data gateway gets the query, it decrypts the credentials and connects it to the data source with those credentials. So it means you won't have access to your online data gateway if you don't have the right credentials. That is very, very important. And the gateway sends the query to the data source to be run. Then the results are sent from the data source to the gateway and then to the cloud service. So I think we must have picked something here. Number one, you must have your on-premise data gateway to be able to relate with your on-premise data services, and then you must have the right credentials. Okay, so we have two types of the gateway. We have the standard mode gateway, and then we have the personal mode gateway. So now the standard mode gateway can be used, multiple users can use the gateway, while your personal mode, just one user is able to use it and you cannot share your dashboard. So briefly, we'll be having a live demo on how to configure gateway. So let me show you what the desktop looks like. Power BI desktop. So this is our Power BI desktop, and then we built this report. We built the report, so shortly going to open. Okay, so we're able to build this report on Power BI desktop, and then we published it. So like I said, you can get your data from here, from Excel, your Power BI data set, SQL, analysis services, your web, and more. Okay, so once you're done building your report, the next thing to do is to publish it to Power BI service. So I'm going to please kindly mute your mics. Thank you. So I'm trying to connect to my Power BI service now. Okay, sorry. So while we wait for the Power BI desktop, we can see what the on-premise data gateway looks like. Okay. Sorry, I'll be with you shortly. Okay, so this is what our on-premises data gateway looks like. Please, can you see the gateway? Please let me know if you can see the gateway.
We can see it.
All right, thank you. So this is our on-premise data gateway. This is saying our gateway is all set up. So it means after downloading and installing your gateway, you should have this status. Your gateway is all set up, ready to be used. So peradventure you haven't been relating well with your data gateway and then it's throwing some errors, it's advisable that you come here and then you restart the gateway. So if you want to also see the activities that has happened on your gateway, you can sign in here and then download the gateway log. So let's go back to Power BI. Let's see if it's open now. Power BI service. Okay. So you publish it here. I think it's taking time. So we'll just go straight to our Power BI service. I wanted to show us how to move from the Power BI desktop to Power BI service. But since it's taking time, we'll just move straight to the Power BI service. Okay, so this is our Power BI service, and then this is the dashboard we built. This is a very basic dashboard. Okay, so it was just for this presentation for us to be able to see something. So like I said earlier, I said you can monitor the people that used your dashboard, viewed them. So you can just click on your usage metrics and then you download it brings out the information, but I don't think I want us to waste that time. So I would just show us how to download and install the gateway. So go to download and then click on data gateway. So before we go too far, I would love us to know that you need local admin privileges to be able to install and configure your gateway. You should also know the computer name of your PC, your server name, or your database name as the need may arise, because those fields will be required during the configuration. So here we have to download either the standard mode or the personal mode. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just type it in the chat box. I would answer when I'm done with the presentation. So I would explain the difference between the standard mode and personal mode. Standard mode allows multiple users to connect to the multiple on-prem data sources, while your personal mode allows only one user to connect to the data sources. As the name implies, it is just meant for your personal use. You cannot share your dashboard with anybody. It means you just want to see what you have. So now, if you are a big company, you want your colleagues to be able to view your dashboard, I advise you download the standard mode. But I won't be downloading the gateway because I have it already. I just showed us what the gateway looks like. Okay, so let's go back to Power BI service and try to configure it. So the first thing to do is to go to settings, and then you go to data set, and then gateway connection. So the name of my on-premises standard mode gateway cluster is iTunes. So it should come out now. Yeah, this is my personal gateway. So it means whatever I do with this gateway, I can't share it to another person. But if I want to be able to share it with my data team colleagues or someone in my organization, I need to download the standard mode gateway. So iTunes is my standard mode gateway. And then the reason we are seeing this error is because I'm yet to configure it. And then that's what this webinar is all about, how to configure a gateway correctly. So the first thing to do is, okay, so this is the report that I showed you on the Power BI desktop. I've been able to publish it and then it's appearing here. So the next thing for me to do is to configure the gateway so it can refresh itself. So now we click on this icon, Manage Gateway. Okay. Manage gateways. Sorry about the network. Okay, so it should be up any moment from now. Yeah. Manage gateways. Click. Yeah, we are here now. So this is the gateway cluster I told you about. This is my standard mode gateway. Okay, so if you want people to be able to administer this gateway, you can add them here. For now, I'm the only admin. But if I want to add other people, all I need to do is to put their email address here, and then they also can administer the gateway. But I won't be doing that today. So all we want to do now is to add the data source of our new report, Adventure 2020. Okay, so we have a data source here already, SQL, although the data source I'm adding to is SQL, but it's a different report. Okay, so I can name, the data source name is SQL, and then the data source type is SQL Server. SQL Server, okay. So this was the reason I said, if you don't know your computer name, your server name, you won't be able to configure the gateway. So I'll be going straight to my SSMS to be able to get the server name. So let me show you what my SSMS is. Our SSMS is the SQL Server Management Studio. Yeah. So I just want to get the name of my server. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Connect database engine, and then I copy this name. This is my server name. Then I go back to go back again to Microsoft Teams. Okay. So Microsoft Teams. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's get the gateway. Sorry. So, I can go back here. Don't know what's happening, but it should give me what I need. If I have my data source here already, let's start again. SQL Server, add data name. Then my database name is AdventureWorks. AdventureWorks. Then my authentication is Windows. This, so this is AdventureWorks 2017. Windows, and then I have my username and password. Remember, you must have the right credentials to be able to connect to the on-premises service. So if you don't have the credentials, it's going to throw an error. Let's hope this doesn't throw an error. Yeah, so our connection was successful. We were able to add the data source. So when you see it throw an error like this, you can also go to that and then just work on the credentials. Just edit the credentials, and I think once you're done with the credentials, it should go this time around. Okay. So I think this should work now. And then when I'm done, I want to test all the connections to be sure my gateway cluster is online and is good to go. Okay. Kindly stay with me. This should be done soon. Yeah, connection successful. So we can test all connections to be sure our gateway cluster is online and ready to be used. So click on this guy. So it says online. The gateway is online and it's good to go. So let's go back to our settings to see if the status of the iTunes gateway has changed from not configured correctly to running. Gateway connection. Okay, so we can see now that iTunes is running. I've been able to configure it correctly. All that is left to do is to map it to the data source I just added. So remember, we named the data source SQL. So I've added SQL and then apply. Okay, so now we've been able to configure the gateway correctly. I mean, it's very easy and quite basic. But if you don't get the configuration right, your scheduled refresh or whatever refresh you want to do to speak with the on-premises server would not go. Okay, so I would like to conclude by saying it isn't enough to build your report and then publish it. It is important to keep your data up to date. On-premises gateway helps pull data once there is a refresh. So now it just means that after building my report and then publishing it on Power BI service, I don't want to go back to Power BI desktop tomorrow to start adding the new data. So what I want to do is I want the on-premises gateway to go to the on-premises server for me and then spool in data. So once I have a new data in my SQL, it automatically goes straight to my Power BI service. So it means even if I publish the report today, I can go next week and then check, and then I'll have a very correct data. I have an up-to-date data in my Power BI service. So as promised that the webinar will be 30 minutes, we have to come to the end of today's session. We'll continue from this point tomorrow or next week. For the next 10 minutes, we'll take questions. So please, if you have questions, kindly unmute your mics. You can put it in the chat box. Suggestions, maybe there are issues you've been having using Power BI on-premises data gateway. You can just put them on the chat box and then I'll answer. We have 10 minutes to do that. I hope this session wasn't too long. So if you have questions, kindly let me know.
Hello, I'm Bukola Asoya. Please, I would like to have. Yes, I would like to have the recorded session for the Power BI of yesterday, or probably can we have this the session again?
Bukola will attend to that offline.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bukola. Any questions, please? Any questions, suggestions, contributions?
Hello.
Hi, Sergio. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Sajos. Yeah, I really understand that what you may use of is a SQL. I don't know whether you can do it with any other database that is not SQL.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can, because I think I showed when we were configuring the data gateway, I showed, let me see if I can still show it again. Again. Okay, so Sergius, you can see that you have your data source type here. So it means you can use it with anything, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SharePoint, Snowflake, Azure Blob Storage, wherever your data is sitting. Wherever your data is sitting, yeah, you can just, the gateway works with it. All you have to do is just put the data source type and then the name.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any questions before I close? Okay, so this is all we'll be able to take today. Thank you for your time. We hope the session was enlightening. If you have more questions, please email us on workplacesupport@signalliance.com. I'll say it again, workplacesupport@signalliance.com, and we'll reach out to you within 24 hours. I trust us, we'll reach out to you within 24 hours. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.